Thanks to the support as a channel member, Ken Davenport. Our fans wanted only two things from us this season: a top half finish in the National League, and I quote, get the better of our rivals Banbury United if we happen to play against them. Today we play against them in the fourth qualifying round of the FA Cup. Not just local bragging rights on the line, but that all-important, potentially money-spinning spot in the FA Cup first round proper. We really need to win today. Hello and welcome to part 5 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have that massive game against Banbury in the FA Cup, and we're not going to play Marine again. You've seen them twice on camera recently, so it'll either be a replay against Banbury or one of these upcoming league games. We've actually not got through a lot of the league season, so we might have a little bit of a gap. We could even do the first round of the FA Cup. Who knows? Anything can happen, but this is the team for the Banbury game. Banbury, by the way, although they're our big local rivals, are down in the division below us, so they are a team you would expect us to be able to beat, or at least hope we'd be able to beat. Since you were last with me, we've just played the one game, beating Peterborough Sports in the league, so we are back up to 13th place, only 2 points outside the playoffs, and have now got a little 4-match unbeaten run going since switching to our new tactic. So fingers crossed we're going to have enough about us to get past Banbury. This is the team. Maxted in goal, a back four of McCann, Pratt, Dean and Dornelli, Murrumbedzi and Bates in midfield, McAleer and Lowe out wide, and then Newton and Hall up front. Let's get this team submitted and let's hopefully get out there and pick up a win that could see us. I mean, there's some pretty big teams in the League One and League Two. I mean, we could get an away game against the likes of Birmingham and the massive amount of money that would potentially generate for us. So it's pretty important. Never mind the local bragging rights. I don't really care about them. I imagine the locals do, but I just care about the money. I want to be able to do a proper rebuild next summer, and to be able to do that, we need money. And the only way to get money is an FA Cup run. It's quite important. And Newton plays it back to Bates to try and get us an early breakthrough in the match. Still less than 2 minutes on the clock. We are knocking the ball around quite nicely here, and now playing it out to Lowe on the right-hand side, who's going to try and beat his man and get the cross in, and he actually manages to achieve both, which is quite rare for him. He's not known for his pace, but did go past his man there, and it was a good cross, and Newton, unfortunately, not able to make a proper contact with it. But it's our first little warning shot for Banbury, but they're trying to return the favour, and they've actually hit the post. So they've had the better of this opening 4 minutes as far as chances go, although XG and shots created would completely tell the opposite story. But they've hit the post and we haven't. So as far as I'm concerned, they've come closer to scoring than we have. Murrumbedzi wins the ball back, and it's now with Hall, who, I mean, I don't even know what he's trying to achieve there. I mean, Hall's pass was bad, but the two players it went past who completely ignored it was even worse. I think the biggest culprit there was McCann, who just would not come short for it. I mean, I can only assume this is the Football Manager animation, and these two aren't quite as incompetent as what we've just seen there. But either way, it's led to a goal, and that's troubling, because we're not supposed to lose against this lot. We're better than them. We're from the higher division up. It's a big, important game. Plus, we want the money. It's the biggest attendance we played in front of this year as well. Over 2,000 people here have turned up. So, obviously, the Banbury locals definitely see it as a big deal, just like the Brackley lot do. So, we need a win. We need to drag ourselves back into the game. There's another former posh youngster there, Cozzy Young Clay. I mean, he's probably in his 30s by now, but he came through the posh youth system many, many years ago. Obviously, we've now got Dornelli and McCann as fullbacks who came through that same youth system 10 or 12 years after he did. But lots of Peterborough United fullback history being put on display in this match. But who really cares if we don't win the match? It's not just about me reminiscing on former posh youth team players. Right, Newton lays it off to Murrumbedzi, and now Pratt turns and whacks it over the top, looking for McAleer, and nods it down for Newton. Newton gets into the area, squares it for Hall, and Connor Hall doesn't miss from there. It's an 11th goal of the season for him. He is absolutely lethal in the 6-yard box. I think we've found his role as a poacher. Just never keep him more than about 8 yards away from the goal, and Goals will come. He's just such a good finisher. And that's just, I mean, it's a tap in. He just gets himself between the two Banbury defenders. And like I say, he's never going to miss from that kind of range. And it's a goal that we definitely deserve. Looking at the match stats, I mean, if anything, we should have a second one. And we're on 1.71 on our XG. We've been the better of the two teams. Banbury only having the one shot on target. But obviously, with Johnny Maxted in goal, that's all you need, because he doesn't make saves very often. I think he made a save 2 matches ago, so he's not due another one for a little while. So anytime they have a shot, they will score. McAleer shoots from range, and that's a good save from the Banbury keeper. Pushes it behind for a corner. And if ever there was a time for us to start scoring from set pieces, it would be now. We set ourselves up for this at the start of the year. It's just not really working for us. We don't have the personnel to make it work. We aim for Pratt, and unfortunately, he can't get any kind of contact on it. McAleer crosses back in again, looking for Lowe, who'd come in off the right-hand side, and he can't get there before the goalkeeper. It remains 1-1. It's very much got that local derby feel, and I'm going to be very upset if we end up not coming away from this with the result, considering how much better than Banbury we're playing. Maxted lumps it forward, looking for McAleer, who nods it down for Bates. Bates lays it off to Newton, and now Murrumbedzi to Hall. Hall is a long way from goal, but he goes past his man, and I mean, he was shattered. He's not spent that long on the ball all season. He didn't really know what to do when he got into his usual spot with it. Picked it up far too deep, but it's McCann now to play a corner into that near post, looking for Dean, and he also can't get proper contact on it. Sooner or later, the corners will click. You've seen me across multiple other saves over the years. You know I can get a set piece going. It's not happening for us yet, but it will come. We just need to get the rest of the team firing first, I think. And that is a real kick in the nuts at the end of the first half. I think that's only the second shot on target they've had, and they've scored them both. And it's his first ever goal for the club. I mean, it's just Football Manager things, isn't it? First ever goal from the club, absolute screamer, scoring with every shot they have. We may as well not play with a goalkeeper at this point. Yeah. We can't get knocked out here. Genuinely, I fear a little bit for my job if we get knocked out here, because this was, like I said in the intro, one of only 2 things that our fans wanted. They wanted us to finish in the top half. We're not in the top half, and they wanted us to beat this lot if we played them. And we're losing. Lowe tries to work his way into the penalty area, gives the ball away, and it's back with Pratt to try and rebuild, and McCann's got space to pick across, but no one's getting into the area. Get there, right, they're in there now. Now we need the cross. McAleer back to McCann. Bates now, someone just get the ball into the penalty area. Murrumbedzi shoots from range. That's not our route to goal. When we had it out wide, we should be crossing it. That's where we get our goals from. I don't know why we've worked it back infield and shot from range. It's not what we're good at. I'm going to demand more again. If ever there was a time for the corners to start working, it's McCann with an in-swinger, looking for the near post. I've met Cozzy and Clay. He's about 5'6". He shouldn't be beating us in the air, but Alfie Bates gets in there on the second phase of play. The cross came back in again from McCann, and Bates is first to it, and it's 2-2, and we're back in the game again, and it's absolutely no less than we deserve. The initial cross cleared comfortably by Clay. Pratt's a foot taller than him. I don't know how that's happened, but then Bates is there to just kind of hover at that far post. He's not known for his aerial prowess, but he's done very well there, and they've left him space. Bates could grab a second here. There's a lot of goal available for him to aim at, and he's hit the crossbar. So close from Bates, and it comes to McAleer. Can we get the move going again? Bates trying to poke it through to either of the strikers, but neither of them particularly alert to it. McAleer's going to come off. Roberts comes on for him. We're also going to bring on Carline for Dornelli. Carline, of course, the possessor of the long throw, so that might come in handy. McCann is trying for a corner again. It's the far post. Oh, Pratt's hit the post. That's the closest we've come to scoring from a corner. It's coming. We are knocking on the door. I'm demanding more again. We're still attacking. We want to win this here and now. We don't want to be messing around with replays. It shouldn't be this hard to knock out teams from the division below us. We're going to bring on Craig for Dean, swap those two over. Just a little bit more youth and energy at the back. Look at how we've dominated this game. Come on, boys. If we throw this away from here, I'm going to be very cross. Bates now trying to get the ball clear, plays it forward to Newton, back to goal, plays it off to Roberts, and now Roberts has space to run into, plays it infield to Newton. Newton goes past his man, floats it out to Lowe, who's got in behind Dunclay, and he couldn't find Hall, but cross comes back in for Hall again, who's hit the post, and Newton is there for the follow-up. The flag stays down, and I think that's going to be the winner. 83 minutes on the clock. It's now Banbury 2, Brackley 3. It's a proper local derby. It is, I mean, it's all over the place, and this is defensive chaos from Banbury, but Roberts with the all-important touch, great header from Hall, and Newton now this time is there for the tap in inside the 6-yard box. We absolutely deserve to be in the first round of the FA Cup based on how we've played. I thought that was just going to go under Maxted there. I generally would have left him in Banbury and either just played in goal in the next match if that had snuck under him. Maxted now lumps it forward, looking for Hall. He can't win his header, and it's not all over yet, I don't think. Banbury are still trying to get themselves back into this game. Like I say, proper derby stuff. Bates, it's a poor pass from him. It just gives the ball away. And now Craig was beaten in the air, but does well to recover from it. And Maxted takes his time, picks his spot, looks for Newton, and Newton has got in behind here, and there is the cherry on top. It's Route 1 stuff from us. I mean, to be fair to Maxted, he picked his spot and it was a great kick. It's gone over the top of all the defenders. This is good distribution from the goalkeeper. Banbury have obviously pushed forward, chasing for that equaliser. Maxted's just hit it over the top of him, and that's great stuff from Newton. And that's Banbury 2, Brackley 4. We've absolutely destroyed them. It shouldn't have been as close as it was in the end. You won't see match stats that dominant very often, but importantly, we are in the hat for the first round of the FA Cup. We've beaten our local rivals. That's going to score me some points with the fans, which is always good. Love me some points with the fans. And now we just need to see who we're going to get in that first round. And there's a very good chance that first round game will be the second game in this episode. So let's get forward, have a look at the draw, and see who we've got. We want a big money tie. So it is now time for the draw for the FA Cup. So obviously mentioned before, some big teams. We want a big away game against a team that get a lot of fans. So a Birmingham, a Huddersfield. Who else might generate some decent money for us? Wrexham, Notts County. There's clubs. There are clubs to visit. Rotherham, we want an away game against a bigger team so that we can make some pennies. Failing that, a home game against a team we can knock out, and then we get a re-roll. Stuart Pearce is doing the ceremony. Let's see who we get. Come on then. I don't know why I have to press twice for every name that comes out of the hat. Let's see, there's been nothing particularly attractive yet. We don't want an away game against somebody like that who'll probably knock us out. See, away against Wigan, there's potentially money to be had there, but Bristol Rovers take that one. Bradford get a lot of fans through the door. This would be a good one. No, Woking take that from us. Yeah, we don't want any of these ones. We are at home. So now knowing we're at home, we want a non-league team. We want a team we can knock out, and we'll have a re-roll and try and get the away game in the next round. So we are going to play Cheltenham. See, that's the worst of both worlds. It's a game we're probably going to lose, but it's not particularly exciting. I mean, you would think we should fill our ground, but we're not going to make a load of money off 4,000 people. But let's play it. Who knows? We might win it. Well, we've not had the best of times since the Banbury game. 3 games without a win. And we managed to turn it around with a win against Curzon Ashton, but 1 win in 4, not ideal. We're down in 10th place. To be fair, 10th place would be absolutely fine if we ended up finishing there at the end of the season, but we are starting to drift behind the playoff spots, which it's always nice to think we can have a little push at the playoffs, but it's looking less likely that it might happen. We shall see, I guess, but let's make some money. Let's hopefully sell out St James Park against Cheltenham, and we're not likely to beat them. But you know what? When the match was drawn, they were 6th. They've dropped down to 14th, so they've hit some poor form. Maybe we could pull off something ridiculous. This is the team. Maxted in goal, a back 4 of McCann, Pratt, Dean and Dornelli. Byrne and Bates in midfield. Murrumbedzi suspended, which is why Byrne comes in. Thomas on the left, Lowe on the right, Newton and Hall up front. And I mean, stranger things have happened, maybe. I mean, we've seen it plenty of times. You get a big draw in the FA Cup and your league form drops off a cliff. Well, that's what's happened to us. Our league form's been absolutely rotten. So hopefully that means we've been saving ourselves for this one and we can put on a show. Interestingly, only 3,000 people have turned up. So it is our biggest attendance of the season by a long way, but it's not a sellout. And this is what I meant when the draw was happening. It just isn't that exciting a game. So we don't sell out. Oh my word, what is Maxted up to? What is Maxted up? I mean, I don't want to make him a scapegoat for everything that's going wrong, but when he goes and does stuff like that, it's really hard not to just blame him for everything that's wrong at the club. What was he doing? Why was he out here? Why did he not give it to a Brackley player? And then why didn't he try and save the shot when it came in? 3 stages of incompetence. I mean, you can understand him being beaten with the shot. Ironically, the thing you can blame him for least on that occasion was not making the save. What he was doing to actually hand him the chance on a plate in the first place, I do not know. But it does put us 1-0 down, which is not ideal. We're going to go attacking, but I suspect we're going to take our medicine today and it'll be the end of our FA Cup run and we won't have made very much money, which means I guess we just have to focus on the league and accept that we're probably not going to have a cup run and a big rebuild. And as I'm saying that, Dornelli shoots from range. It comes back off the post and Danny Newton is there to tap in the rebound. So it's 1-1 and all of a sudden we're straight back in it completely against the run of play. I mean, I'm not quite sure what Dornelli's thinking shooting from there, but it's a lovely tap in from Newton. Pretty fortuitous that it comes back straight to where he's standing. But I mean, we're back in this, boys and girls. We've been the better team according to those match stats. Maybe Cheltenham taking us a little bit too lightly. They're playing the flat back 7, which I can tell them from bitter experience is horrible and isn't going to get them anywhere, but they're playing it. So who am I to tell them to stop? And they're on the attack again. Cross comes in. Can Maxted deal with it? No. Dornelli can, though. Byrne in with the tackle. Byrne's been on the transfer list since before I arrived at the club. We've barely used him. And there's a demonstration as to why. And once again, just no attempt at making a save. I know non-league goalkeepers in general are very suspect. It's one of the ways Football Manager demonstrates that they're non-league goalkeepers. You rarely see them make a save. And I am being a little bit harsh on him, I think. But when we never actually see him make a save, it's so hard not to pick on him. Let's demand more. It's the FA Cup, magic of the cup and all that. We probably shouldn't have stayed on an attacking mentality when we got back to 1-1 because I guess there is more money to be made if we take it back to their place for a replay. I don't imagine they get many more fans than we do, especially for a game against us, but it's another opportunity to make some money. Cross comes in, looking for Thomas, and he probably needs to do a little bit better with that. That's a big miss. Will be recorded as such. And now Dornelli on the right-hand side, who, by the way, might be getting recalled by Posh in January because we promised to play him as a right wing-back, and we've not been playing him that way, and I've had Fergie on the phone. He's not very happy with me, and I hate to disappoint the greatest manager in Peterborough United history, who I think is in his 9th spell at the club now in-game. But he's probably going to recall him because I'm not playing at right wing-back, which is odd because Posh play a flat-back 4, so he'd be playing at right back for them when he got into their team, if he got into their team. So I'm actually playing him in a position he's more likely to play. Silly little Football Manager things. Hall playing it into Newton. Can Newton equalise again? I think he's won a penalty. He has won a penalty. And this is our opportunity to drag ourselves back into the game once again. I think it's going to be Hall to take. It is Connor Hall to take, and he scores. And that is another very confident penalty for him. 12 goals for the season now. This time we will drop back to a positive mentality. We're not going to go too nuts, but that's a very, very good penalty. Look at him. What a penalty that is. Right, what have we got on the bench that can help us over the finish line? Thomas is shattered. McAleer is going to come on for him. McCann is going to come off for Craig. And see, we are now allowed 5 substitutes. Now we're into the first round, so we can actually freshen things up a little bit more than we normally would because we've got lots of tired legs. So we'll make 4 changes. We're just going to shuffle this around a little bit. Neither of these fullbacks we've got now are particularly attacking, but we're just going to have to make do. We've got one more change we can make. I mean, I don't think we've got the personnel to make another change. I guess Pollock could come on. But he just doesn't fit into this system. We are training him to play on the wing. So maybe we'll give Pollock 10 minutes. I know the hashtag faithful are going to be fuming that he doesn't ever get in the team. Should I give him 15? There you go. Pollock's going to come on and play on the right-hand side. Let's see if he can come up with a piece of magic and maybe drag us into the second round of the FA Cup. Wouldn't that be a lovely thing? Cabangolo knocks it forward, looking for McAleer, and finds him. Ball forward for Hall. It's a fortuitous little bounce for Hall. Plays it off to Newton, and then Newton has panicked and had a shot from range when he had space to run into. He could have made something a little bit more than that. We've been a very good team in this match. Cheltenham have had 2 shots on target and unfortunately scored them both. We're on 2.5 XG. We're playing very, very well and feel a little bit hard done by that we've only come away with a draw here. But I guess I'm going to have to show you the replay now, aren't I? We're doing a 3-match episode this early in the series. What will they think of next, eh? Let's do the replay and make it snappy. Well, we broke our record attendance for that match, which is jolly nice. We're still massively overdrawn. Then the replay's actually not for like 3 weeks, so I'm going to have to play some more off-camera matches before we get to it. But it does mean we are in the hat for the second round, which is exciting because, I mean, we're probably not going to get there, but imagine this is another opportunity for a big money tie. It would be quite the incentive if we... let's see, that would have been a decent one. It would be quite the incentive if we have a big money tie or an easy home game as a reward. Reading would be a big money one as well. Big money for us anyway. Yeah, we're not really interested in Salford or anyone along those lines. No, see, Huddersfield are gone. Barnsley are gone. Birmingham are gone. There's not much left here for us. I think we probably want a home one. We're not going to beat Cheltenham. Oh, there you go. So it's us or Cheltenham at home against. Make it someone little and rubbish. Let us have a route through to the third round. Yeah, Wickham or Oxford. We're not getting into the third round. We're not getting into the second round, but let's play the replay anyway and see what happens. So very much mixed fortunes in the 3 matches we've played. We beat Darlington in the league, drew with Warrington, but got knocked out of the FA Trophy by Scunthorpe. To be fair, Scunthorpe is a pretty tough draw for so early in the FA Trophy, but that is done. This is what the league looks like. 11th, 7 points outside of those playoffs now. They are becoming less and less likely to be a destination for us this season as we just aim for the top half. But it's all about the FA Cup now. If we can get past Cheltenham, we can make a bit more money, which we definitely need because we're not making any money at the moment. This is a team, I think it's the same team as the previous round. It's certainly our first choice team. And let's head to Cheltenham. I don't know how many people are likely to turn up for this one. They have former Peterborough goalkeeper Joe Day in goal. It's all about ex-posh players in this save. There's actually fewer people have turned up for this match than there was for the home match. That shows how disinterested Cheltenham are in this. Hopefully that means they don't take us seriously. We were by far the better team in the first match. If we can come here and be the better team in the replay as well, we can book ourselves into the second round and really start getting a cup run going, which obviously we'd very much enjoy. Thomas has picked up a knock, though. He's pulled his groin, which is not ideal because we don't really have another winger like him at the club who's actually got the pace to get in behind defences properly. But with a pulled groin, how quick is he likely to be? He's on the ball here, shoots from range. I think he's done that with his dodgy groin side. That's why he's hit that over the crossbar. Actually looks like he's recovering his fitness. Maybe it's not too bad an injury, and hopefully he can stay on and remain part of the game. Ball forward fairly aimlessly, looking for Hall, doesn't find him. And Cheltenham just going to knock the ball around us and try and rebuild with another attack coming straight down the middle of us. And they've got round the side of McCann, who we've now had complaints from Barnsley that McCann is not playing as a wing back either. So 2 players we brought in, promised their clubs will play them as wing backs, now playing them as flying fullbacks effectively in wing back roles. But I imagine they're both going to get recalled in January, which is going to be problematic because we've kind of built the system around having those 2 getting up and supporting the wide men. And without them, it's not going to be anywhere near as effective. Thomas is really struggling now, so McAleer is going to come on for him. he stuck it out for as long as he possibly could, but his groin wasn't getting any better, and now we've got two quite slow old fellas out wide as our wingers, which really emphasises why we need those flying wing backs. Dean on the edge of the area finds Murrumbedzi, who slots it into Hall. Hall's got a little bit of space, floats it over. I think Newton was there and couldn't quite get contact with it. I think a Cheltenham player got in and somehow managed to clear it off the line, but that was a real big opportunity for us, and we might end up regretting not converting such a big chance, because we're not going to get a load of chances against League Two opposition, despite now in a game and a half looking like the better team against them. It's McAleer now on the left-hand side, and he loses out. This is what I mean about having slow, lumbering players out there. He finds Lowe, who finds Dornelli on the overlap. This is why we want the pacey youngsters. Dornelli with the cross, looking for McAleer. It comes to McCann on the other side, who puts it back in again. Lowe's come in off the right wing, but his header goes wide, and it's another big chance for us. We are knocking on the door at the as we're approaching half-time. Murrumbedzi lays it off to Dornelli. Looked like he was going to shoot, but now Dornelli across to Bates. Bates does shoot, and it's a sixth goal of the season for Alfie Bates, and we're 1-0 up away from home against League Two opposition. We might not be very good in the league, but we are very much enjoying our time in the FA Cup this season. That's a lovely goal. Very well worked. Murrumbedzi does really, really well to kind of feint the shot and then play it into Dornelli, creating loads of space for him. He finds Bates, who, I mean, it's an excellent shot from him, and that's a lovely long throw from McCann. Are we going to grab another one before half-time? Hall puts it into the area where, to be honest, he would have been wanting himself to be on the end of it. It's exactly the kind of delivery he wants, but Newton's in. Oh, that's another big chance. We have missed some big, big chances in this first half. If we don't end up getting through to the second round of the FA Cup, we only have ourselves to blame. We have had enough chances in that first half to put this one to bed already. As it is, we're narrowly ahead, and Cheltenham are surely going to start taking us seriously at some point and get themselves back into the game. They've been so poor across both of these matches, but they do have that Football League quality. They're full-time, we're part-time, and they've got a penalty that didn't look like a foul, according to the commentary, which makes it all the worse. Can Maxted make himself a hero? No, of course he can't. He doesn't make saves, remember. It's 1-1, and this is what I mean about needing to capitalise on opportunities when we get them. We have been so far and away the better team, didn't make the most of it, and now one dodgy decision goes our way in the shape of the penalty, and despite being totally dominant, we're level, and Cheltenham are full-time. They're fitter than we are. They've got better players than we have, and presumably going to go on and win the game now. And there you go. That's probably that. We gave it our best effort, but we needed to take advantage when we were playing so much better than them. We knew they were going to have a period where they got back into the game, and unlike us, who need 5 chances to score 1 goal, teams playing against us need 1 chance to score 1 goal, because we don't ever make saves. Newton's having a terrible game. Roberts can come on for him. We'll stick McAleer up front. And we're going to get Pollock on for Lowe on the other side. Give Pollock 20 minutes today. We've gone attacking. We're demanding more. It's a little bit harsh to demand more when we've played as well as we have, but there is so much frustration that despite being comfortably the better team across 2 matches, we're going to get knocked out just because of naivety, really. Dean's not played well at all. Craig can come on for him. And now, have we got 1 more goal in us to take it to extra time? Bates to Murrumbedzi. He's got room to shoot. He's hit the crossbar. Was that the last big chance for us? It was an excellent effort. And now we've got a corner. It's going to be Roberts floating it over with the outswinger. The keeper can't really handle it properly. McAleer shoots from range. I see what he's doing because the keeper was out of position, but the shot goes wide. And again, I suspect it's a good opportunity that we've kind of wasted there, just with that lack of quality. We're trying the right things. We've just not quite got the quality to make the right things work the way we would like them to work. And it's Cheltenham coming at us again, and there you go. It's all over. The FA Cup dream is dead for another year. And I mean, we gave it absolutely everything. we just have got to be better in front of goal. We need a better goalkeeper. We need to occasionally save some shots from the opposition, and we need to be that bit more clinical in front of goal. McAleer's in, and I'm writing the obituary here. We've got a goal back. There's still 10 minutes to go. Dare we dream that we could drag ourselves back into this game? This is a goal from nothing, really. Roberts just slots it into McAleer. First time effort from him. Dinks it over the goalkeeper. And, we go very attacking. We throw everybody at them. Imagine if Maxted came forward for a corner and grabbed the equaliser. He would suddenly go from villain to hero. But I suspect we've got the curse of going very attacking. Yeah, we go very attacking and don't get any more highlights. We're out of the FA Cup. We didn't make a huge amount of money from it, which is a shame. We're out of both cups. It is now just the league for the rest of the season. Reminder, this is what the league looks like. We're approaching the halfway point. We now have full focus on this as we try and get ourselves into a playoff conversation, but knowing full well we're probably going to lose Donnelly and McCann as soon as the 1st of January hits and the transfer window opens. So it's going to be a difficult one. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.